3 hours of traffic, thousands of pounds in refunds, a slight accident, and an argument with a security guard. This is the fiasco of AdamCFest 2024 and how we are turning things around for the better. My YouTube channel has been based around visiting some of the UK and the world's best car shows.
I love you! He loves me.
So it made sense for myself to finally host my own car show. And in 2022, that's exactly what I did with the Petrol Hedonism Club. We worked together to put on the greatest show we could at Wilson Mill Karting, and it was incredible. We had thousands of people turn up, show cars and spectators. There was karting on the day, so it made sense to do it all again in 2023. So we returned to Wilson Mill Karting because a venue makes a show, and that venue was so unique. Parking cars on a karting track, the spectacle was what gave the show its identity. However, we expanded more than we could ever have imagined. We had twice as many people turn up, creating 2.5 hours of tailback traffic. The police had to shut roads to deal with this situation. Even my parents got stuck in traffic for 2 hours trying to get into the show due to its overall success. So after that show, myself and Petrol Hedonism had to come together to find a new venue with the same vibe, and of course it made sense to go to an actual racetrack, and we ended up at Mallory Park. They said that they could comfortably host events for up to 12,000 people, so Chiro from Petrol Hedonism organised to have 3 different events at their venue, starting off with Shedfest, hosted by Auto Alex, then of course AdamCFest, and then Mark McCann's Soapbox Race. Now the Mark McCann Soapbox Race is still taking place on the 26th of August, and AdamCFest is still taking place on the 6th of July, but it won't be at Mallory Park for reasons that we will go into in this video.
AdamCFest is coming up fast, and there's tickets and links down below. On the 27th of May, it's very soon to get your applications in. The clear applied for top 25 at AdamCFest, which you can do too by sending in a picture of your car. AdamCFest promo has been blocked by the tent.
The plan was in place, and I had half a year to get as many people into that venue to make it as viable as possible. So in every single video, I advertised AdamCFest for all to know about, so all could come along and all types of cars could be displayed on this circuit. We were again parking them up on the circuit. I even thought I'd do a bit of investing into selling tickets, so I went ahead and bought a Mark I Renault Twingo for £350 with the idea to show it off at AdamCFest and maybe do a burnout on the burnout pad or get people to sign the car. However, no one cared about my Twingo. That was a flop, and now I'm stuck with this car. And of course, more recently, I bought my Dodge Viper GTS, and AdamCFest still will be one of the first times to see that car. So we begin with Auto Alex's Shedfest, and the numbers for that show were huge. Most of the show cars managed to get into the venue without any problem. However, as soon as the spectators turned up, there was a massive problem. The entire village and miles of the road network were clogged up by all these spectator cars, mostly because there was only one single track entrance to get the cars in. Obviously this frustrated a lot of people, and Petrol Hedonism had to give refunds to those people who weren't able to make it to the show. But despite the fact that the majority of people had a fantastic day, that was the first worry for myself, because I knew we had to change plans up to make sure this problem was not going to happen again.
Look, there's still queues to get merch!
Now another thing to worry about is my YouTube channel as a whole. Now this is my main source of income, and I've noticed a slight downward trend for view counts on my videos, and I can understand why. I mean, YouTube is changing, things are switching up, and channels are investing a lot more money in creating their videos. The production values and the investments going into them is far greater than what was a few years ago. And though I still love creating my videos, I've been spending the entire year trying to switch things up and re-engage a lot of my older audience that have since switched off. So whilst I was going to all these events trying to switch up the way I filmed my videos, I was also checking the weather forecast for AdamCFest. Now the previous couple of years it was mostly sunny with a little bit of drizzle towards the end, but I wasn't too concerned about that because we're British, we can deal with the weather. However, on the week run up to the event I started to see thunderstorms, and that was a concern. But I knew that Mallory Park had a lot of history and has hosted many events in all sorts of weather, so I didn't think that there would be too much of an issue. However, On the Wednesday before the show was to take place, Mallory Park got in touch with Petrol Hedonism and said that they would not be hosting the event. They were cancelling it altogether because of the rainfall during the week. So on the Wednesday and I think the Tuesday before, they had thunderstorms that waterlogged their entire spectator field, and as a result of that, they knew that they would not be able to get the cars in, and they would definitely not be able to get the cars out. We tried as best we could to try and switch up the planning of the event, say we could park the spectators on more of the hard standing areas, but Mallory Park said no, it would be too unsafe for the event to go ahead. And that's when I got the call from Chiro. I was sat there with everything going around in my head, thinking, how am I going to let down thousands of people to say, with just days remaining, that my show could not take place anymore? There must be another way. It was up to us to find that other way. So a team member from Petrol Hedonism went down to the site to see what the conditions were like, saw flooded roads and agreed that Mallory Park's decision was correct because there was rainfall due for the weekend and the days before the event, as well as the rainfall that happened during the week. So if that rainfall on the weekend was to happen, then it would definitely not be able to go ahead. So they agreed with Mallory Park, but we had no say. Mallory said no, and that decision was final. They would not be hosting AdamCFest on the bank holiday Monday. So myself and Chiro had a lot of brainstorming to do, and luckily we are the two best people to come up with this solution, because Chiro hosts some of the best events in the UK and I go to the most events in the UK. So my calendar is full of every single event that I know about. So I went through the calendar to find a date that was free, that had the fewest clashes that I knew that AdamCFest could take place on. And I chose the 6th of July. We didn't want to go too far away from the original location at Mallory Park because it was nice and central in the country, and that's where people were expecting AdamCFest to be. So we had the Bedfordshire, the Leicestershire and the Northamptonshire area to deal with, and Chiro had 3 venues in mind, 2 manor houses with some great lands in front of them and a festival showground as well. But we had to work fast, and before we could find a new venue, we had to let everyone know of the new date for AdamCFest and the reason for its cancellation. So I put a post out on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, on all of my social platforms to let everyone know about the rescheduling and the new date and the reasons for it. Emails were sent round to everyone as well, and I made sure that I replied to every single comment on these posts. I received maybe 200 on Instagram, 200 on Facebook, even more on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Threads. I spent the entire night on my phone talking to people on DMs, replying to people in the comments, dealing with the negatives, the positives, and I think everyone was grateful that I was so active talking to people and letting people know of the situation, that refunds were available for people that couldn't make the new date, and for those who have unchangeable plans, I was going to put on a show on the Monday to make up for it as well.
I will be up there on Monday because I have a hotel, and I know a lot of you will also have hotels in the area. So if anyone knows of any locations that we can all kind of meet in, as like doing a mini meet on the Monday, as well as AdamCFest on the 6th of July, then let me know. We'll work something out.
But of course, being the internet, the abuse begun. Wait another month for a show I was looking forward to, all because of rain. Just say you didn't sell enough tickets and move on. Weather is good and you've not sold enough tickets. Not sure why you blow up. Pathetic. Waited months for AdamCFest just for you to cancel and change it to over a month later. Not a great week to be dealing with those types of comments, because my TikTok had just been permanently banned due to a promo video I shared with AdamCFest that showed a burnout. And I had fake accounts on Facebook pretending to be me trying to sell dodgy tickets to my show to deal with. And I had the whole cancellation, the reschedulation, these comments and everything all going on at the same time at the end of a period that my YouTube channel views were going down. But our next goal was to decide on location to tell people where they're going to be on the 6th of July. And we found Pitchley Gates at Overstone Park, NN60AB. And I'm about to get in the car to drive to that location to scout it out. The new venue is just off the M1 at junction 15, so I pulled off and found the entrance to what would become AdamCFest 24. So this is where we will be entering AdamCFest 2024, and the rain is here, which is good news today. It won't be raining on the day, I promise, but obviously this is the reason that Mallory Park told us we can't host at their venue, and obviously we trust that it is ultra rainy there at the moment. So I've got my AdamCFest banner. Show cars will be going straight ahead, spectator field will be over to the right. We're going to have the stage, we're going to have all the attractions there. You've got a lovely manor house in the background too. I can really see this venue's potential. It's so picturesque. Spectator field will be over there. You can see you've got the walls around the entire site. It is vast. I was content with the site and its capacity, so we headed back in the car to our overnight spot, and to our pleasure it actually started raining. This is the rainfall that Mallory Park was so concerned about the day before the show was supposed to take place. But approaching our hotel, it got a little bit better, so we spent the evening at the hotel enjoying some drinks, ready for what was meant to be show day. For those of you who have flights, accommodation or any kind of travel booked for this weekend and are still in the Mallory Park area, in Leicester at Meridian Leisure Park at 10 AM tomorrow, so that's the Monday, I will be there in the Chaser. I mean, it's not going to be like a big car meet, we don't want the police to shut it down, but I will be there in the Chaser to meet people who are in the area still. The next morning was gorgeous. There were barely any clouds in the sky. The sun was out already, and I knew that this would be all the more difficult to convince people that the cancellation was justified. Right. So I drove down to Mallory Park before my meet and greet was due to start to see exactly what the condition of their site was and whether the event could have gone ahead. Whilst weather is unpredictable and the forecast had not shown anything about a glorious start to the day, my main priority was putting the minds at ease from the people who had unchangeable plans and who were most looking forward to turning up at this show and enjoying their bank holiday Monday. So, I'm having to squint because of all the sunshine. It is a bit of a shame that it is dry currently, but things like the puddle in the corner are a clue. You speak to people about this venue and they say, oh, make sure it doesn't rain, because the field does flood quite regularly if there's any kind of rainfall in the week run up, and I think that's what's happened. Obviously we drove through that heavy rain yesterday, so yesterday added to the flooded nature of the spectator field. The circuit that we were going to use to park cars would have been absolutely fine, of course, because that is asphalt, that's tarmac, but it's the spectator field. There were thousands of spectators booked, and I don't want people getting their cars stuck, and at the end of the day it was Mallory Park's decision to not host the event. It's quite an upsetting scene actually, seeing the beautiful colours in the sunshine. This is where cars would be rolling in. We can't control the weather, which is apparent. We've cancelled an event due to the rainfall that has happened, and now the sunshine is here, but when it rains it pours, and it has poured. We need to go inspect that field. Over here is the access to the spectator parking, which apparently is where all the problems would occur. There's a puddle that looks like a pair of breasts, and I think there is where the spectators were meant to go down. But as the first bit of evidence, there's quite a bit of squelching along here, and I think that's the nature of the field where the cars would be parked. Here I am on part of the spectator field, and to be fair, you have evidence of previous difficulties of cars getting stuck, and if it was raining like it was forecast to today, it would have caused issue. I mean, personally, I think it's difficult to see in these conditions, and that's why I wanted to come here. I wanted to be completely transparent. You can definitely tell that there has been a lot of rainfall here recently. There's sludge everywhere, there's puddles, there's dampness. The wind is quite strong, so it's probably pushed the rain away. It was meant to be thunderstorms all day yesterday, rain all day today, and it's meant to now be thunderstorms tomorrow. So I think that's what's happened. A lot of the weather has been pushed around a lot, and that's why we have conditions similar to AdamCFest of previous years. After the inspection, I was convinced that there would have been some issues if the event had carried on. However, I was still concerned that the decision was more than what met the eye. I knew that the local council had concerns after the issues that were caused by Shedfest, and a lot of the residents of the area can be very vocal about their opinions too. But I had to respect the decision, and all that was left to do that day was to meet the people who had still travelled to the area. So I've hosted this meet for those who are in the area. They've booked hotels. There's people spotting already. I am not going to get over these speed bumps.
Whoa, it's touching.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go at that angle over all of them. Like, there's a 2 mil between the front bumper. Jesus.
I've crashed.
I think you're just gonna have to go.
We just do it here.
Yeah,
Is it that?
Yeah, what you've done there, you've scraped. Yeah, go on, you're off it. You're off it. Yeah. It was just a slight raise in the brick.
Yeah. What about the next one?
Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
Really?
You're gonna have to go at that angle.
I did warn people about the speed bumps because everyone was warning me about the speed bumps. No. This is how to enter a car meet in style. We do it in reverse. Right. Let's do some meeting and greeting.
The crowd were thrilled that the chaser got in, so I took pictures with my fans, signed some autographs, but it didn't take long to attract attention from the car park site manager.
What is going on? So basically, I was going to host a car show at Mallory Park.
But you can't be having a car gathering here. It might be a public. It might be a public park, but it's still private park.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But it was all very.
Channels that you have to go by.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
Holiday. I'll give you now.
Yeah.
I'm giving you.
No, thanks for that. Thanks for understanding.
I don't want to call the police. Really.
So we had been given just an hour to do our meet and greet. Obviously the site manager was worried that a car meet would be taking place on this property, but I explained that it was just a simple meet and greet for people who were already in the area and had missed out on AdamCFest. I would not believe it would get very busy at all, and I told him that at 10 o'clock in the morning on a bank holiday Monday, not a lot of people would be using his car park to visit restaurants, cinemas and gyms. So he understood and we could continue with our day.
There are a few people, it's not like a proper car meet, and a few cars have turned up, and he basically said we have an hour to do a meet and greet. He understood the reason behind it, and then we have to all leave, so we'll see what happens. Oh, it's an enthusiastic departure. It's been a nice atmosphere so far. We've only really got 15 minutes left, but we'll see what we can do. Just want to look at this aircraft that's managed to fly in. The British Airways Audi. I knew that this was actually coming to AdamCFest. Look at the spoiler on the back of that. So that is an aircraft. We've got the MX-5s next to the aircraft and a motor bicycle. Oh no, there's a rain cloud, it's coming! It's not that bad. So we have evidence, proof. This is the reason that we're all here. Because of the rain. It's so backwards me saying that, but we're glad it's raining. And there's a big cloud coming. Evidence that people would have got stuck in the field just down the road. It's not as bad as it was meant to be though. But that was a prime example of making light of a bad situation. We had a little meet here, quite a few people turned up. I signed probably 25 phone cases, I signed a cast, I signed dashboards, and it was quite a nice little meet. We even had a family that had flights from Ireland to Birmingham booked for AdamCFest. They can't change their flights, they had the hotel books and everything, and they still came down. They surprised their son with his first ever flight was for this trip, and they came down wearing the AdamC merchandise as well. So that's why I had to put on something for people such as that family who had unchangeable plans. But we can plan a new date for AdamCFest, the 6th of July. It's going to be great. All the details are in the video description, but I'm going to now leave this car park and hopefully there's no more speed bumps on the way out. And we are free! Yes! And then back into the Premier Inn, where everything's Premier but the price. But I'll see you all on the 6th of July. Sorry to all the occurrences. It's going to be amazing. We're going to create a festival showground out of AdamCFest 2024. All details in the video's description, but for now, thanks for watching.